Hey everyone, if you're an ALS caregiver, you know better than anyone that mealtime can be one of the most demanding parts of your day. So today, we're going to dive into how we can turn that challenge into a real source of strength and connection for both of you.
First things first, let's just take a moment to acknowledge the reality of what you do. A study from 2021 found that many of you are dedicating more than 30 hours a week to care. I mean, that's basically a full-time job on top of, well, everything else. The amount of time and energy you give is just immense. So that really brings us to the big question here. With so much on your plate, literally and figuratively, how can we shift mealtime from being just another thing to stress about into something that actually strengthens and refuels both of you?
Okay, so before we can find solutions, we've got to really understand the pressures you're up against. This is step one, looking at the mealtime challenge, which, as we all know, is about so much more than just the food.
And when you look at it, it really boils down to three main things. First, just the simple lack of time. Second, the physical reality of ALS, which can bring on swallowing difficulties. And third, the emotional weight of it all. I mean, watching a loved one's relationship with food change, that can be incredibly tough.
And listen, if this stress sounds familiar, you are so not alone. A staggering 68%, that's more than 2/3 of ALS caregivers, report significant stress that's tied directly to preparing meals. This is a real, shared experience, and it's totally understandable.
All right, so we know the challenges. How do we start to build a foundation to tackle them? Well, it all starts with nutrition. In this next part, we're going to talk about fueling for the journey. And what's so crucial here is that this isn't just about your loved one, it's about you too.
The big idea here is to focus on what we call nutrient-dense foods. And all that really means is getting the most bang for your buck, foods that are packed with vitamins, minerals, and energy. It's about efficiency. This is how you maintain the strength you need for the marathon of caregiving.
And you know the best part? This can be so simple. We're not talking about fancy, complicated recipes here. These nutritional building blocks come from basic stuff you can find anywhere, like eggs, avocados, and oats. These are the things that can help keep energy levels up for both of you without adding any complexity to your day.
Okay, so we've got the why down. We know nutrition is key. Now let's get into the how. This next section is all about strategy. It's your practical toolkit to help you plan, prep, and just simplify your way to a less stressful mealtime.
It really breaks down into a simple three-part strategy. 1. Create a basic weekly meal plan. This gets rid of that daily what's for dinner stress. 2. Batch cooking, making bigger portions so you can cover a few meals at once. And 3. Using those plans to make smart grocery lists so you save time and trips to the store.
And believe me, these strategies, they actually work. One caregiver shared this online saying batch cooking meals like chili was a lifesaver during busy caregiving weeks. And calling it a lifesaver, that's not just an exaggeration, right? It shows how one simple change can give you some precious breathing room.
So you might be thinking, okay, what does this actually look like? Well, here are some fantastic, simple ideas. A slow cooker stew is the classic set-it-and-forget-it meal. Smoothies, they're super fast and packed with nutrients. And all these other ideas are really adaptable, whether you need softer foods or just a quick, healthy meal.
You know, all these practical tips are really building blocks for one of the most sensitive parts of this journey, adapting with compassion when feeding needs change. This part is all about how to navigate those changes with grace, patience, and a focus on connection. So, when you get to a point where you're helping with feeding, the goal is just to make it a positive experience. That means creating a calm space, maybe without the TV blaring. It means offering food at a comfortable pace, never rushing. And most of all, it means focusing on the connection. This is a shared moment, not just a task to get through.
And that's really why it's so important to remember this. You can prepare the most nutritious meal in the entire world, but at the end of the day, patience and connection are the most vital ingredients you can possibly bring to the table.
Yeah, think of it like this. For every challenge, there's a compassionate solution waiting. If your loved one is feeling tired, the answer isn't a huge meal, but maybe smaller, more frequent ones. If there's frustration, the answer is always empathy and patience. Just meeting the moment where it is. That can make all the difference.
And all of this, it leads us to our final, and honestly, maybe the most important topic of all. We have to talk about caring for you, the caregiver. Because that old saying, it's absolutely true. You just can't pour from an empty cup. Your well-being isn't a luxury. It's a necessity.
And here's why this is just so critical. Nearly half, 47% of caregivers are facing a high risk of burnout. This isn't about being selfish, it's about being sustainable. Your well-being is absolutely essential to providing that continued loving care.
And look, the link here is crystal clear. As those caregiving hours we talked about in the beginning go up, so does the risk of burnout. This just shows that managing your own energy isn't some extra thing to do if you have time. It's an absolute necessity.
So, how do you actually do that? It's all about small, doable steps. Let a friend do a grocery run for you. Take 5 minutes to just stretch while something is simmering on the stove. Use paper plates some nights. Who cares? Simplify that cleanup. And try to reframe mealtime as a moment of connection, to refuel your own spirit too. Okay, as we start to wrap this up, if you remember one thing, let it be this. Please give yourself permission to let go of perfection. The real goal here isn't a gourmet 5-star meal. It's nourishment and connection. That's it. That's all that really matters.
So I want to leave you with this thought. In the face of all the complexities that come with ALS caregiving, what if the greatest strength is actually found in simplicity? What if a simple bowl of soup, shared with patience and love, is actually the most powerful and nourishing meal you could ever offer?